Hi, I'm Mike the Heal Your Gut Guy, and in this video I'm going to share with you the one thing. If you don't do this one thing, you cannot heal your gut. As you watch this video, you are going to get so much value with so little effort. I've seen so many people try all sorts of remedies and diets and very stressful protocols that cost a lot of money, cost a lot of time, and then when they do the basics, I've seen some people gain 20 pounds in a month. I've seen people get rid of all their food intolerances in just a week, and it's because they're addressing the root cause. What we used was something called German New Medicine, which helps us understand what is really going on behind the scenes. There's something it's a concept and it's an idea that is so alien to us, but makes so much sense when we learn it. So as you watch this video, what I want you guys to do is take a few seconds, scroll down on your phone, hit the like button, and leave a comment. What gut health issues are you dealing with? Have you had success with German New Medicine in my other videos? Maybe just say something, just comment anything. Comment anything, because what this does is it promotes me on the YouTube algorithm and it can save somebody's life. The information I'm about to share with you can bring insane amounts of value to somebody's life. Pay it forward. If you want, literally, I've seen people die of gut issues. You can save a life just by simply leaving a comment, and I'd greatly appreciate it. So, what is the one thing that you need to heal your gut? The only thing. The only thing. So, gut disease or gut issues are usually some sort of inflammation of the gut. This part's inflamed, that part's inflamed, da 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 da. Why is that part of the gut inflamed? Well, okay, in order to understand that, we need to understand what inflammation is. Inflammation is treated kind of like a cancer. Oh, we got to cut it out, da 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 da. And this is where the logic starts to unravel. You listen to any holistic practitioner, you listen to any modern medicine practitioner, we need to suppress inflammation. Anti-inflammatory foods, anti-inflammatory drugs. But in reality, we're trying to heal the gut, and inflammation is part of the healing process. If you get a surgery, let's say you get a surgery, there's nothing you can do, and that part of the body is going to be inflamed. Why? Because inflammation is how the body heals tissue. So, the question isn't, how do I suppress inflammation? How do I get rid of inflammation? The question should be, is how do I avoid injury? What is injuring my gut? That's the thing that I need to get rid of. And I think there's this unrealistic expectation that it's important how we use language, because the way that we use language guides how we think and guides what our brain's going to do. The brain doesn't do something unless it's communicated with. So, oh, the doctor is going to heal me. Is he going to heal you? He can aid with the process, but is he physically stitching your cells back together? No. This drug is going to heal me. Is it? Is that drug responsible for stitching the cells back together? Okay, so, there's some sort of trauma here. These cells have been disrupted. Is there something about this drug that's going to magically make this stuff come back together? I don't think so. Even if you were to stick your hand up this person's butthole and rub some coconut oil or some soothing balm or some soothing miracle cream, is that healing? It's a dead substance. Are there nanobots in that cream that I'm unaware of? What is actually putting these cells back together and getting them, back to a normal state? You hear a lot of people talk about healing foods. By the time the food reaches your small intestine, it's dead. It had to go through stomach acid. Maybe it's probably been digested by the small intestine. I mean, who knows? It's dead. Why do other people not need to eat these foods and their gut is fine? There's a huge, big piece of the puzzle that we're not accounting for. Sometimes someone can get hit in the gut and get stabbed in the gut or something like that, and there's like a physical wound or a piece of food or something or a bone scratches the gut, and there's physical blunt force stress. But that heals relatively easily and it goes back to normal. It's just an automatic process. But what happens, what do you do when this inflammation just seems never ending? What is going on here? So what Dr. Hammer discovered, he was the founder of German New Medicine. He was a very intelligent doctor. He made these inventions and he became financially independent, so he didn't have to be a drug dealer with a PhD like other doctors, especially gastroenterologists today. So what happened is, he started looking at people's brain CT scans, and he would find everyone who had colitis would have a ring in a particular location. If someone had Crohn's, they'd have a ring in another location. If somebody had proctitis, there'd be a ring, or someone had hemorrhoids, there'd be a ring somewhere else. And so if someone had colitis, he would see cell proliferation. He would see extra gut cells. These rings are caused by conflict shocks, stressful events that catch us off guard. So an example is someone that I know that got colitis. Their parents were going through a divorce, and he was pretty young when it was happening. I think he was like in high school. And he couldn't digest his parents' divorce, so his colon started to develop extra gut cells to help him digest this hard-to-digest thing in his life. And this also happened later in life. He had some digestive issues when he was going through a bad breakup in his late 20s. So these extra gut cells, again, food didn't cause this. Food does not have the intelligence to create extra gut cells. Food is not intelligent. Toxins aren't intelligent. Stress, on the other hand, can trigger your brain to do something. The stress puts an organ into overdrive. It's trying to help you digest this hard-to-digest thing in your life. And so when he kind of came to terms with his parents' divorce, later in high school, his symptoms got better. But there was a point, no, they didn't. So when he resolved the conflict, he finally came to terms with his parents' divorce, the body started to get rid of these extra gut cells. And that's when you get the blood, the diarrhea, and the mucus in your, when you go to the bathroom. And you get the pain and the cramping. The brain is controlling this process. The brain, along with your cells, are controlling this process. And the stress, okay? Do you see the pieces of the puzzle coming together here? What was the stress that triggered your digestive issues? And this can work for other organs as well. It's a little bit different depending on the organ, but for the most part, some sort of stressful event, you perceived a stressful event, the brain and your psyche had to go, oh my God, we're going to die, or oh, this is not pleasant. We need to put an organ into overdrive to increase our chances of survival. Creates extra gut cells. The conflict gets resolved, and then the body gets rid of these. And then what causes it to go on forever is maybe the divorce is nasty and it's like on off. Dad comes back, dad goes away, dad comes back, mom goes away, mom comes back. All sorts of stressful things start to happen. And this process just goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So the stress and how we perceive this stress, how we deal with this stress, is the most important part of healing your gut. Because what I'm trying to communicate to your subconscious mind, so you can make better decisions. I'm trying to give you guys a lot of value here. This is a paradigm that completely changed my life forever for the better. Because I was thinking like, oh, I'm not healing because I'm not eating a particular food. I'm not eating a particular nutrient, which is just an insane way to think when you have this knowledge. Food isn't intelligent. It's insane to think that if I eat this particular food, all my gut cells are going to behave. There's no chemical, unless it's like a poisonous food, there's nothing in the food that can chemically communicate to my brain to do this process of cell proliferation and cell loss. Why is this part of my body degrading and, all my other body parts are relatively fine? Your brain is doing this, and it's a response to stress. So what we want to do, these other things, they can aid the process, but they can't guide the process like dealing with our stress can. So food, for example, how can we use food more intelligently? Getting our body the nutrients that it needs. Even if we're eating a perfect diet, and I've seen this hundreds of times, even if we're eating a perfect diet, the cells have all the nutrients they need to stitch this back together. But as long as this stress is yo-yoing back and forth and we're not dealing with it properly, this is never going to go away. It might happen better because we have more nutrients, but it's not going to go away. You might be spending so much time in the kitchen concentrating on your food and driving to the farm to buy your food and all that stuff, which might distract you from the stress. But at the end of the day, what's causing this is the stress and your perception of the stress. You can take certain supplements and make sure you're really getting those nutrients into you. You can take CBD products, which can help calm you. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I smoked a lot of weed in college, and that was when my symptoms were at its worst. It helped calm me down, but at the end of the day, I still had a lot of anger issues. And it wasn't until I addressed my anger issues until I got better. You can take medications, and I come from a holistic mindset, but medications can make the healing process a lot more bearable. When you're getting rid of these extra gut cells, it hurts. It sucks. But if you're on painkillers, it becomes a lot more enjoyable process. Antibiotics can help. Because these are being removed, these extra gut cells are being removed by bacteria and fungi. So if you take antibiotics, that reduces the symptoms because there's less bacteria and fungi ripping away at your cells. This is how we need to start thinking about how our gut health is operating. Because if you keep slamming down expensive foods, expensive supplements, expensive medications, and you're not addressing the most important, the rock star in the room, the stress, you're not going to get anywhere. I've seen people try all the medications, and it doesn't work. The only reason these medications work is because the person accidentally fully resolved their stress. The only reason diets and supplements work is because someone accidentally resolved the stress. The people who get better are usually better, before I learned this, the people who were getting better were better at handling stress in their lives. And the people who weren't, they were very stressed out people who, they were borderline psychotic. And, I was too. The brain controls your cells. Your cells are the only things that can stitch you back together. And your brain controls your cells, and stress is going to be the biggest factor. A very particular type of stress is going to be the biggest factor in whether your cells stitch you back together properly or they keep you trapped in this process of cell proliferation and cell removal. That is the big piece of value I wanted to deliver into your conscious mind, into your subconscious mind. It's going to take you a little while to start viewing the world differently, but this is where most chronic conditions are coming from. Stress that's putting your organs into overdrive. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you would like to learn more about this process, how to address the stress and more of the details and some testimonials and some case studies, I have a free 30-day guide. It comes with a big long video, and it's about an hour long, and then a free one-page PDF that outlines what you're supposed to do in these first 30 days. So go down in the description below and click on that link, and it's right in YouTube. You can watch the video right in YouTube, and you can get a link to my website to download this PDF. So thank you for watching. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.